There was a columnist in the New York Times who basically did an investigation and discovered that Clear Channel, which basically is buying out all the radio stations that we listen to, has close ties with the Bush administration. And during the war, it was one of the backers of a lot of the pro-war rallies that was going on. They basically backed it, and encouraged people to get out there. And that just goes to show the inner connections between the government, the corporations, and also the reaction of the people.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break and stay tuned. We'll give you some more information.
Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. Welcome back to the Muslim Roundtable. Let me introduce our panel if you're just joining us again. On my right is Brother Hagar Asfiha,
who is Asian Continental Director of Universal News, Channel 15, and Sister Dolores Lundy, who is a community grassroots activist here in San Jose. On my left is Brother Dewan Mohammed, who is a Minister of Information for the All Muslim Communication Center in San Jose, and Mr. Zaki Hassan, who is a filmmaker and also part of the Muslim Roundtable show, frequent guest. Okay, we were talking about manipulation of public opinion, and Brother Hagar was mentioning the fact of the Jessica Lynch story. I think Zaki wanted to add a few points to that too.
Yeah, I mean it's coming out now, the fact that the Pentagon sponsored story of her retrieval, is full of more holes than Swiss cheese, and in that time, in the time of her rescue and the sort of the crap hitting the fan, as it were, NBC bought out the rights for a TV movie, and when asked about, well, what are you going to do about this, the fact that this is being shown that it isn't as it was portrayed, they're saying, well, that's not the movie that we want to make. And this is about a quote-unquote factual event, and the fact is that this is how people are being sold a bill of goods, because a film with all the music and everything else, that's what people remember.
Right. And what I think you're really saying here is that the emotions are really what's being manipulated, not the intellect.
Absolutely.
If we examine each situation that has sprung before us, the first thing that they go for is the emotional. So the people are being discredited with being thinkers, with even having any sort of knowledge. In fact, knowledge is not being encouraged. You're made to feel almost non-patriotic and guilty if you even try to reason some of the things you're hearing. So once again, I see a great opportunity as Muslims that we deal with intellect. We realize that we were created by a superior being that we call Allah, and He gave us the faculty for thinking and all. And we really have a mission upon this earth to utilize our ability to reason and to seek knowledge and to think.
Right. Which reminds me, we mentioned the book Stupid White Men, and many of our viewing audience out here might be thinking that this is a racial issue that we're trying to discuss here. But the point is, there is an attitude that Caucasians have had and handed down over the years and been perpetuated. And it's not necessarily the skin color, but it is an attitude that we have to deal with. It's become realist. We talk about affirmative action and all kinds of things that affect us. And it just so happens that if we were to trace, for example, just the Bush family, they are perfect examples of the white man attitude. So, and that's not meant in any racial way. It's just meant that that attitude is perpetuating atrocities and oppression on everybody else. So we have to face the reality.
The sad part is that too often that quote-unquote white man mentality is indicative of the American mentality throughout the world. I mean, look at the French, look at the Germans. They do not represent this mentality, and they're very pointedly against this mentality. And too often, the average person on the street takes this at face value and says that that's what it means to be an American.
That example you gave about the Jessica Lynch story actually adds to that, because that was a perfect example for the media to show how Muslims, demonstrated a humane and took care of Jessica Lynch and nurtured her, but the spin they had on it is that they held her hostage and were doing all these troubled things to her, and that was contrary to what was really happening. So, but what people in the mainstream out there get is that these Muslims are just completely barbaric, and that's not even the case. So it just
Yeah, and
It goes on.
just for our viewers, in case you don't know what the real story was with the Jessica Lynch, what happened was that she was hurt in a hospital, and the Iraqi nurses and people in the hospital, there was no military in there, no Iraqi military. They were taking care of her, and then when the soldiers came, they came in with all the big guns and everything, looking for a big fight. There's nothing there, and then one of the doctors said, you know, if they just came and asked us, do we have a soldier here, American soldier, we would have told you, yeah, we do, it's right here.
Beyond even that, the story that was put out was that she, you know, like again, like something out of a movie, she valiantly defended her crew, and she was wounded, and she fired, and she was stabbed and beaten and this and that, and, you know, a subsequent examination showed that she had no stab wounds, no kind of physical anything, you know, but you've got this blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl who just represents the heartland of America, you know, she's, I mean, it's the biggest kind of smear job since, you know, Not Without My Daughter with Sally Field, you know.
Well, see, here again, that's that attitude. I mean, we see it, and we have to be careful because many of us can fall into that trap. You look at the WWF.
When you say attitude, what exactly are you saying that white folks coming to rescue?
No. I'm talking about the idea of staging a program like that for us. That's part of the white attitude, of the Caucasian attitude. Putting on a big stage like this, the WWF, Jerry Springer, all of those types of things that you see.
To portray what, though? To portray that they're superior to everyone else?
No, it's not about. It's not about superior. It's to keep you duped. You see what I'm saying? To keep you into something, or get you instead of what you should be into, or the truth. It's to keep you sidetracked. And we spend a lot of time talking about McDonald's or what's happening on television, and all, when we should be doing what we're doing right now, trying to break this thing down to see what approach we're going to take.
Yes, I agree 100%. And I think what I hear you're saying, that they go for sensationalism, I said emotionalism, which are absolutely the opposite of intellect, knowledge, and of commitment to the truth. And so therefore, we have even more commitment, not just to the Muslim world, but to, as it appears to me, because I'm outraged over the things that are happening, that we have a commitment to humanity. And I believe that is what we were initially called to serve anyway. We're the servants of Allah. And He called us to really be mindful of the conditions upon this planet, like caliphs. And therefore, we are those who care about the well-being of the globe, and of those who inherit the globe, and of the fact that there need to be justice upon the planet. And I personally feel empowered by my Creator that He's given me intellect, He's given me courage. I do not have to have a whole slew of military. I do not have to have all of these other things, because Islam gives us the direction and already empowers us with the mercy of God.
Okay, I think we actually ran out of time today, so thank you for watching the Muslim Roundtable. You can check us out online at muslimroundtable.tv, or call us toll free at 1-877-493-6089 and send us your comments or questions, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.